All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. We give double honors to the apostle elders, which are the apostle elders that rule the great millstone, that have been set up through faith to help seal the elect that the Lord is bringing in. And to you hopeful elect, keep watching and praying, getting close. I posted a video on this subject. It was one of those, I found a video, and then you know how slavery goes, man. But I had the opportunity to sit down and gather some precepts and go into the subject a little more, find little videos here and there, and pull up the article. We tried to do it on camp, but you know how camp goes. You'll get started on one subject, and all you need is the right person to come up, and you'll be on a whole nother subject, man. You know how the spirit works. You know, it's like the wind. But right now, I just wanted to go into the subject of the Devil's Punch Bowl because it's more of the Most High lifting up Esau's skirt and putting his sins out there for people to see, man. Just like when you put a case against somebody, you put all the evidence out in Front Street so the court, especially the jury and the judge, can see it. All right. So right now is the time where Esau is being revealed before he's destroyed. Okay, because you don't want somebody being like, oh, why did this happen to this so-called nice white man? Okay? No, the Most High is showing his sins so you can know why he's getting the judgment that he's about to receive, which is going to be harsh and what is this? Going to be without mixture. Okay? It's going to be one of the worst judgments took place on the planet Earth next to the flood. All right? So I'm going to play this video. I'm going to jump around. This is a video I found on one of these sideways Israelite camps. You know, I really ain't dealt with this channel too much, but they had a lot of good information about the Devil's Punch Bowl. So that's why I'm showing this video now. So I'm going to skip around a little bit here and there, and I'm going to go into the article and then bring out some precepts, and Lord willing, this is edifying to you, Akim.
Into the Devil's Punch Bowl on the Mississippi River north of Natchez. Its legend is laced with lore of pirates and treasure, but the reality of it is even more interesting. The bluff along the east side of the Mississippi River at Natchez is about 200 feet above sea level and runs pretty much parallel to the river. But highlighting the contour of the rim of the bluff, there's one place just north of Natchez City Cemetery where the bluff swings inward and forms a deep ravine in the otherwise consistent bluff. This indentation has come to be known as the Devil's Punch Bowl. Why?
Concentration camps. People mostly associate the term with Nazi Germany, but historians say it's true. They also existed in America. During the Civil War, authorities in Natchez, Mississippi forced tens of thousands of freed slaves into camps built in what's known as the Devil's Punch Bowl.
Well, that goes way back in time to early river days when outlaw gangs and river pirates really did plague this part of the country. David New owns the Punch Bowl.
Planes have crashed in here, then you hear about pirates and, on the river because the river course.
Man, look at this. Like, I'm gonna borrow this phrase from one of the brothers. That's the perfect Edomite right there. You can tell he's an Edomite. And he's the one that owns that land. So you know it's been passed down or however how much he got it.
It's changed now because they made the cut through the Giles cut. But before then they said that, pirates would hide in the Devil's Punch Bowl and those type things is what I heard.
Greg Isles titling his mystery The Devil's Punch Bowl is only added to the mystique of the hollow.
Get a lot of people come through town hunting for the Devil's Punch Bowl because they've heard about it.
I'd like to show you more of this terrain, but it's just too thick with greenery. These bluffs are also...
And it's funny that dude's name is named Jacob. Out of all the reporters, that's showing you that's the spirit. That's the spirit, man. Because his name, the reporter that went down there to go into this region, his name happened to be Jacob, which is saying what? Jacob, Yahweh, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are Israel. So it's showing you that this took place unto Israel, man. Just a little thing that stuck out to me. Let me play this.
Straight down, so not only is it dangerous to navigate, it's still very mysterious back there.
It's a bed of alligators and snakes. It would take Indiana Jones to get back in there at this point.
Then you come on up washing away bluffs, and it's the Devil's Punch Bowl that has so many people that no one knows how they got killed or when, and they're still down there. Wasted.
And even to this day, they talk about wild peach trees that come up down there, but no one in Natchez will eat them because they know what the fertilizer was.
People.
Exploring the unexplained on Mystery Monday, Jacob Kittelstead, WJTV News Channel 12.
And historian.
See? Because they'll use Jake as fertilizer, man. They cast Jake out like dung, man. You know, but let me go into this article real quick. And then I'm going to go into some scriptures. But let's read about the Devil's Punch Bowl. I know some brothers have went into this a little bit. But this says, never forget the Devil's Punch Bowl. 2,000 freed slaves died after being forced into post-slavery concentration camps. And that's what's going to happen again, man. They did it already. History repeats itself. So some of you jakes that are back in the reincarnation, you probably going to have to go back into another concentration camp, man, under the guise of ESAU. All right. It says history has always made concentration camps to be symptoms with the symptoms of Nazi Germany, but America has its own dirty secret about the use of concentration camps, and they did it with the Japanese also. But we concentrate on you Israelites right now, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it says the camps were located in Natchez, Mississippi, and were used to corral freed slaves during and after the American Civil War. As slaves were being emancipated, which means transfer, from the plantation, their route to freedom usually took them in the vicinity of the Union Army forces. Unhappy with the slaves being freed, the Army began recapturing the slaves and forced the men back into hard labor camps. The most notorious of the several concentration camps that were established was located in Natchez, Mississippi. As the slaves made their way to freedom, the town of Natchez went from a population of 10,000 to 120,000 people almost overnight. In order to deal with the population influx of recent freed slaves, a concentration camp was established to essentially eradicate the slaves. The men were recaptured by the Union troops and forced back into hard labor. The women and children were locked behind the concrete walls of the camp and left to die from starvation. And that's what they're going to do in the modern day concentration camps now. When stuff goes to the limit, when it starts shit hits the fan, that's going to happen, man. Many also died from smallpox disease. In total, over 20,000 freed slaves were killed in 1 year. Over 20,000. And who knows what happened after that 1 year inside this American concentration camp. A researcher studying the existence of the concentration camp said the Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said bury them where they dropped. So Esau didn't give a shit, man. This devil didn't give a damn what happened to you jakes, man. Okay? Speaking of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they didn't care. But then they'll tell you, oh, let it go, let it go. Look how they treated us, man. Like animals. But that's the way of the curses that was put upon us. That's how we know that we have to be of the children of Israel. We have to be those people, the Lord's chosen. The camp was called the Devil's Punch Bowl because of the way the area is shaped. And it's funny because it's the devil, Esau's punch bowl. It says the camp was called the Devil's Punch Bowl because the way of the area is shaped. The camp was located at the bottom of a cavernous pit with trees located on the bluff above. Today, the bluffs are known for the wild peach groves because the locals will not eat any of the fruit because some are aware of what fertilized the trees. One researcher has noted that skeleton remains still wash up when the area becomes flooded by the Mississippi River. So the bones were in shallow graves, man. They weren't even deep enough to where when the water comes in there and floods it puts the bodies or the skeletons back out of the holes, man. Even when America tries to bury its racial ways, we must force America to acknowledge what has occurred and not to shy away from the truth. Let's never forget all the freed slaves that died in America and in American concentration camps at the Devil's Punch Bowl. All right, that's it on that. I posted that video. But that's showing you, man. Esau has to pay. Esau has to pay, man. You can't do these things. That's why all these the evidence is being brought out, man. Okay, and you got Edomite looking people going after this information. You know, some Jakes are stumbling upon it, but you know what I'm saying, because you have some people's ancestors that are still alive to talk about it. But this man's fucking wild, man. 20,000 slaves. They didn't give a shit. And you gonna tell me this man is gonna be saved? He's gonna make it? And let me get this. This is the book of Zechariah. Let's go into some of these precepts. This is Zechariah 2 and verse 8. This is Zechariah 2 and verse 8. It says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory as he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye." So anyone that touches us, even if the Lord puts you against us, you still got to pay, man. You're still touching the Lord's eye. You're still touching the apple of the Lord's eye, which is something that he's fixated on. Israel is the main focal point of the Lord in these prophecies. It's Yahushua and the 12, David, okay? It goes in the hierarchy of the kingdom, and then Israel. But the Most High is concentrated and put his love upon you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to thy servants. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts has sent me. All right? That's what we're doing now, man. The Most High is allowing us to come out here and put Esau's dirty laundry out there and to air him out before he comes and judges him. And this is verse 2, Zechariah 2 and 10. "Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord." And you read that in Revelation also. When we're delivered out of here, the Lord is going to dwell among us. We're filthy right now. We went into our sins. We paid for our mistakes by going under the curses, which Yahweh Shem Yahushua put upon us. Now we're being renewed. We're being redeemed. And now we're going what? We're trying to the best of our abilities and hoping and praying that the Lord delivers us and we'll be a part of that number, man. And go into what? Rest and be changed to perfection so we never break the law again. And we never have to go into the condition that we're at now. It says, "And many nations shall join." That's it on that. Let me pull this. This is Jeremiah 12 and 14. Jeremiah 12 and 14 says, "Thus saith the Lord against all mine evil neighbors that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit. Behold, I will pluck them out of their land and pluck out of the house of Judah from among them. And it shall come to pass after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them and will bring them again, every man to his heritage, every man to his land." And that's what you're seeing now, man. The Most High is having compassion on us. He's the one that allowed these things like the Devil's Punch Bowl to take place. Just like if you see the situation with Job, why did that all take place to Job? Because the Most High allowed it to take place. You know, now we're coming back to him and we're with supplication. Let me see if I can get some images, man. Let me see. See? They even got pictures, man. Concentration camps. Look how it's grown in, man. You never know what was there, man. That's why I always say that we're walking on Native Americans and Negro bones. You know, I'd say that in the highways and byways, but it's so true. It's so true, man. Look at that, man. Jake just bones. What do you think? The Valley of Dry Bones, you know? You know, but we're spiritually dead, man. But now the Most High is redeeming us and putting us back into back in order. See if I can't get some of these pictures. Look at that, man.